Like case in point, real quick. Alex was supposed to go out on a date with this girl, right? So
Can he? Oh, dude.
and then
story's my favorite.
she says that her car isn't working, her car breaks down or whatever. And he's like, okay, cool. So now typically what a guy would say if he has a functioning car, and what she's actually hinting at is, hey, my car's broken down. Maybe her car's not even broken down, because what she actually wants is for the guy to come pick her up. My man, what did you say to her?
All right, so let me
No. Just answer the question. What did you say to her in the response after she said, my car's not working?
I said, all right, if we need to reschedule, we can Hey, but there's backstory, though.
Nah, bro, you don't need backstory for that.
Nah, there's not really that much backstory. No, I know, but
there's no backstory.
But actually, if you explain the backstory, it'll make it even funnier, dude.
Well, the whole thing for me is like when we set up this date, she hit me with that like, oh, I'll meet you there. So in my head, immediately I'm like, okay, she doesn't want me to pick her up. That's what I thought. So I'm like, all right, fuck, all right. So then all this shit happened with her car, and she's like, yeah, you know, my car's this, my car's that, la la. And I'm just like, all right, then bet. Like, I guess if we have to reschedule, we'll just reschedule. And then her response was, yeah, right. So want me to finish the story?
Bro, tell the story, dog.
So it was funny because I was with Nick and David during this time. We just went to, it was like Chinese New Year, right? Or some shit.
Yeah.
So then I remember telling them in the car, like, oh, and even both of them, I even texted my homie Patrick, and he was like, hey, offer to pick her up. I'm like, nah, she wants to drive, so I'm not going to offer to pick her up.
Bro.
He was so set on that too?
Yeah, so like later on, the restaurant we were supposed to go to, I actually went with my mom, right, to go eat, and I posted a picture, and she responded to it. And I do this a lot too.
What did she say?
She just said, damn, right? And I do this a lot. Like in my head, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go for it. Let me see what happens. And I do that. And then I'd say about 90% of the time, I still don't do it. But like, there's like a 10% that I do it. And then so I was like, fuck it. I'm going to see what she says. So I'm like, yeah, man, I guess I could have just offered to pick you up. Her response was, yeah, I definitely would have went if you did. I was like, shit, damn, fuck, shit.
God, that's exactly what she was hinting at. And that's the funny part, is like, that in and of itself encapsulates how you are with women, which is so fucking funny.
I got all my girls that I've gotten so lucky with because they started. Like I've never had to like start the relationship. The girl like always came on to me, and like they kind of started it up. So I'm like, fuck, this is cool.
Well, only problematically speaking, and the reason why I crack up at this is because he talks about like his interaction with women, right? And it's so odd because of how awkward it is, because he can't get out of his own fucking head.
Yeah,
which we always talk about this in this podcast, where there's a human being where I get messages. It's not, yours is actually mild compared to some of these other kids, but sometimes like you have these thoughts in your heads that kind of just grow into this weird thought of how bad things are going to happen. And it never, ever gets that way.
And it's also, we know who you are, and we know you as a person. And it's like, dude, you are so overthinking it for you.
I'm not scared of anything.
That's what I'm saying.
But
it's
pussy.
Like, but talking to girls, I don't know.
I remember
my whole life,
when this guy, his first fight, right? When he found out, when he told me who he was fighting, he was like, "Oh, I'm fighting this big ass black dude." In my head, I was like, "Oh shit!" And he showed me who the guy was, and I was like, "Oh man, this guy's 6'4". Alex is like 5'8", 5'7",
5'6",
and I was like, "Yo, this motherfucker is big as shit." And in my head, I was like, "All right, bro, like this is gonna be a trip." But when I was like, "How you feel?" He goes, "I'm fine." And usually when I hear people say I'm fine, I usually don't believe it. But this time I was like, oh shit, this dude is actually like chill. So it made me feel way more relaxed. But the fact that this dude is so calm when he's going to fight another human being in front of like hundreds of people, and then he can't even be like, hey, I'll pick you up. I'm like, what are we doing, dude?
Dog, I don't know. That's how I've always been.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. I think it's
that. I don't know. It's like I've never been confident in myself, in my looks. Basically, it was my looks. Like growing up, like I was like, I don't feel attractive. I was always kind of chunky. I just never had the confidence. So like talking to girls was always something where it was terrifying to me. And there would be so many situations where like if someone else was watching it, they'd be like, yo, that was like your opportunity. And it would just go.
What are you scared of though is the question.
You know what? Honestly, I think I've been scared so long, I don't even know what I'm scared of anymore.
Best answer ever, dude.
That's the
like-
dopest answer.
I think it's
That
like
shit was
everything.
pure honesty.
Yeah, straight up.
I think it's everything. It's like, growing up, I was scared of getting rejected. I was, for some reason, scared that they were going to say no, and then everybody was going to find out, and then I'm the laughing stock of, oh, this girl turned him down.
The laughing stock. See. Now this is what I
Yeah.
want to bring up, and I knew that shit was gonna come up. Now, I'm gonna use this girl as